I got cursed. Let me explain. Normally, people come back from vacation with keychains and snow globes, but instead, I somehow managed to piss off one of the most famous Mayan shamans in the country. Why? Because I have negative aura. Now, what was the real reason? Because I'm broke. Let me back up. Recently, I, along with my friends Luis, Rain, and Noah, went across the continent on a trip to Mexico. You know how in all those movies they always make Mexico look bright orange? They do that shit for a reason. But before somebody from Arizona jumps down into the comment section saying, "Oh, but we live on the surface of the sun," it's the humidity. Every time you step outside in Mexico, it's like somebody sent out Primal Groudon, told us to use sunny day, and then has it rub you down with a habanero. Oh yeah, I need a sound for that. We went ziplining, swam with whale sharks, and explored underground cave systems, and it was epic. Mexico is also famous for housing one of the new 7 wonders of the world, Kukulkan's temple in the city of Chichen Itza. So naturally, like good little tourists, my friends and I booked a tour to go see it for ourselves. The tour consisted of a bus ride to an underground lake, an authentic Mayan city, an all-you-can-eat buffet, and a reading from an esteemed shaman. After the lake, and before we got to the city, the tour guide was going over the agenda, mainly yapping about Mayan birth certificates, the moon cycle, aligning your chakras, etc. But then, out of nowhere, he puts down his charts and maps and casually asks, "So, ladies, do any of you bleed?" After that gem, the tour guide also says that for whatever reason, we couldn't take our water with us, which was not only really shady, but was unfortunate because the tour guide shepherded us towards this overhang, where the shaman was waiting for us, along with a table full of obsidian idols, some leaves, and a bunch of other very sacred-looking items. The shaman introduced himself, however, because it was in Mexico, it was all in Spanish. The tour guide ended up parroting whatever was being said in English, kinda like Rocket and Groot. One of the shaman's assistants wandered around spreading incense while the shaman chose random people in the tour group to bestow an idol. He eventually gets to my friends and I, and points to me. "To you, I bestow the element of fire." Gee, I wonder why. "It represents cleansing, purification, and renewal. I sense in you great financial trouble, and a lack of resources." Calling me poor in front of my friends and the rest of the tour group was absolutely wild work. He went throughout the rest of the idol holders and the rest of the group, said a few words, and waved a bush at us and splashed us with water. After the ceremony concluded, we were ushered toward a gift shop, but I was stopped by the tour guide and one of the shaman's assistants. The shaman will now provide a further reading for those bearing idols. He will decipher and extinguish your negative aura. Now, if you're anything like me, those words have been thoroughly tarnished thanks to modern day slang. It took a lot of willpower to not burst out laughing when the tour guide unironically parroted the words negative aura. Keep in mind, I had no idea what to expect. I honestly felt kinda special, despite the magic man calling me broke in front of my friends and a bunch of strangers. So I was genuinely curious and kind of excited to see what he had to say. When it got to my turn, one of the shaman's assistants ushered me into the hut. "Ah yes, please, sit down, sit down. Do you speak English or Spanish, my friend?" English. "What is your name, young man?" "Dono." "Dono, I bless you with health, prosperity, wisdom, courage, and most importantly, wealth. I also bless you with all of these things for your family and all of those around you that you hold dear." Wow, that's really kind. I can't believe he'd go out of his way to do this for me. "Now, with this in mind, would you like to purchase the protection I have placed in your hands for you or your whole family?" Keep in mind, I speak broke-ass Spanish, and despite the fact that he was speaking English, because of his accent, I couldn't really understand what he was saying. "I guess for my whole family?" The shaman yoinks the small idol out of my hand, then goes over to the biggest carved piece of obsidian that I have ever seen in my life, and places it into my hands. What was he blessing me with? A trip to the nether? The shaman motioned to one of his assistants, who scurries over bringing a payment terminal. "Oh god, no, I'm so sorry. How much did you say this was?" 2,780 pesos. In American? $150. My asshole puckered. Sure, the guy might have slightly embarrassed me, but he must have actually read my aura or something, because I'm not exactly very liquid at the moment. After the initial shock of the rock in the terminal, the realization hit me. You're telling me the man who not only has repeatedly blessed me with wealth, sensed the poverty in my aura, and just called me broke in front of the whole tour is now asking me for $150? I really appreciate the offer, but I think I'm okay. Thank you, though. Okay, fine. Here's what actually happened. I really appreciate the offer, but I think I'm okay. Thank you, though. Pinche cabrón, está bien pobre. What?
Get the hell out! Get out! Get out!
Now, I'm no expert when it comes to the occult, but when you piss off a magic man and he utters something at you, and then things start to go wrong, I would call that a curse. Fast forward through the rest of the tour, we head back to the hotel, go to sleep, and the first thing Rain says to me when we all meet up in the morning is, "Hey, are you good? You look kind of red." At first, I assumed she was talking to the boiled lobster-colored man next to me, but when I looked at my shoulders, I was actually a different color. For those of you who don't know, I'm black. One of the only benefits that comes with this coloration is a slight buff to my sun resistance. I normally give my pastier friends a hard time when they look like Bob from VeggieTales Peel and ask me to go buy them a mystical substance called Aloe, because it just doesn't happen to me. In fact, I've only ever been burned 2 other times in my entire life. I'm currently peeling as I'm writing the script, and let me tell you, for all the shit I talk, Aloe is the truth. But it didn't end there. For whatever reason, when we were trying to check in for our flight, the online check-in wasn't working. When we had an attendant at the airport do it for us manually, our entire group was randomly split up throughout the plane. Rain and Luis were able to negotiate with the people around them to sit together, but because I am single, I was stuck in the middle seat between a family of 5. Now, keep in mind, I specifically asked multiple times if they wanted to switch seats with me so that they could sit together, but they were adamant on me keeping the middle seat. I need the aisle because I need to use the restroom often. Oh, that's perfectly fine. I can sit at the window. It's no issue. No, it's okay. We're fine where we are. Now, because I have half a brain cell and a spoonful of fucking foresight, I could sense that this 5-hour ride was about to be a major pain in the ass. Like the universe reached down and told me to grab my ankles for the fucking that was about to happen to me. My whole goal was to get just an ounce, just a pinch of sleep since we had such a long day yesterday and gotten up so early that morning. But lo and behold, these 2 assholes were out to get me. They kept needing stuff from each other's bags, chargers, chapsticks, iPads, sleep masks. The exchange never ended. They also kept passing one of their phones back and forth, clearly to communicate something privately. And I don't care that they wanted to talk to each other or even that they needed stuff. I just care that they were constantly crossing into my personal space every 2 seconds. That's not even all of it. Behind us were an aunt and 2 young children. Of course, the aunt did nothing to entertain the children and slept the entire flight. Meanwhile, the parents were constantly reaching back and handing things over my seat, talking to their kids, scolding them, and all of those fun things. The kid on the left was an angel, slept through the whole flight. Lucky. But of course, the kid behind me was the physical manifestation of Chun-Li holding a personal vendetta against the back of my seat. Now, to the parents' credit, they did tell the kid to stop, and they did apologize, but they didn't actually do anything to get the kid to stop beating the brakes off the back of my chair. But after a few hours, things finally started to settle down. With around 45 minutes left of the flight, I finally managed to close my eyes. But of fucking course, the millisecond I fall asleep, the husband next to me shakes me awake because he needed to use the bathroom. Just move next time. It's that simple. I literally asked, like, at least, I shit you not, 3 times if they wanted to sit together, just because I know, I could sense that it was going to be a massive pain in the keister. But despite the plane ride and a sunburn, nothing pissed me off as much as the buffet did. After the shifty shaman tried to upsell me, we finally got to chow down after not eating for at least 6 hours. The buffet was included in the cost of the tour, so Luis and I cleaned house. Once we finished eating, a guy came around holding a small terminal. He brought it over to Noah, which makes sense because he had gotten a margarita. But then he turned around to us and started counting our water bottles. Thankfully, we had each only consumed 1, but then he hit us with, "That'll be $26 for the water." $26 for the water? You told me to leave my water on the bus! That's more than the water would have cost on a fucking airplane. In fact, they gave us water for free on the aircraft home. Curse or not, this trip was legendary and possibly unrecoverable. So now, if anything else goes wrong this month, I'm blaming the shaman. If I miss an upload,